Hello, everyone. This is Wesley speaking for the Central Ohio GameDev Group, or COGG. Welcome to Sunday. It is July 26th here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're here to showcase some games this month. So thanks for everyone for your patience. I know I had a little bit of a technical... Yes, we got a live audience. Woohoo! So we're here at Improving Downtown, and I do want to kind of first and foremost just kind of apologize for the parking this time. Normally, we were not anticipating there to be paid event parking. That was something we found out when we got here. Totally fine. Was not known to our, folks as well. So, but we do have some of you online, so that's totally fine. That's what this is meant to be. We have a simulcast, so we're trying to do more of these in-person events. So just bear with us as we try to get our cadence back into the rhythm of everything. But today we're obviously very excited to kind of have everybody here, both in person and online. So hello, thanks for stopping in. If you didn't get a chance to see this today, feel free to stop by, later. Maybe you grab this as a recorded screen at a different time. That's okay too. So we're going to go a little bit over what our group is. If you're new here, definitely say hi. I think I've seen all of you here in person, so thanks for coming in. But just to kind of go over a little bit of what our group is, what's coming up, what happened last month, all that good stuff. We'll kind of go through that as well and show some projects today. So if you're not familiar with this event, it's basically here to kind of give you an opportunity to showcase your project in front of a lot of folks, right? So if you're working on something and you want a larger audience to showcase, this is a event that we've had since the inception of COGG, essentially. So it's a great time if you want to talk about anything game related to kind of show in a live audience, so to speak. So we have our Discord channel. So I will have that up on the screen for you all. But it's a great way to kind of talk to us like 24/7 in a sense. So Caleb and Tom and myself are on there all the time. We have some admins as well, kind of helping with some of the back end there. So it's a great community. I'll showcase a little snippet of that here in a little bit. But for the most part, if you aren't able to make this stream or other events, that's a great place to be in between events because you can showcase all kinds of stuff. You can showcase your games. You can talk to other different developers if you have questions about a project you're working on. Or if you just want to chat with other folks interested in game development or games in general. We have our website, which is thecog.com, which is going to have all this information for you. If you take away anything today, that's the main thing. Thecog.com has everything you need to get started. We have a games channel, which we showcase a couple different games. We have a news channel that we're working to update more. And then obviously the stream channel, which if you're live now, that's where you can find us. Anything at the COG, you'll probably find that hashtag pretty much everywhere in social media. So events coming up. So we are a mix of in-person and online events. We actually had quite a few in-person events a couple years ago. Now we're kind of a bit of a mix. So it's a great way if you say you can't make it, or you come here and you realize parking's super expensive and you decide, well, I guess I'm not going to park because that'll be most of my pay. Then you can feel free to kind of stream and join us later. So, but it is an opportunity to kind of help expand for those who can't make it in person, because I know there's things that come up. But our goal is to really try to provide both avenues so that if you are able to make it in person and you enjoy that, we still have that opportunity. We're going to try to make this event more standard as we start to move on. And then Anthony was talking about when is our next prototype and play event. So this is our GameDev Meetup event. We have our prototype and play event, which is normally the second Friday of the month. So we won't have that next month. We did have prototype and play online this month, and we'll have prototype and play online next month. And that's usually within our Discord channel. We had quite a few people there. It was a great time to kind of showcase their projects online. But our next in-person event will be in September. So that'll be at Game Arena. That's what we're slating for, catering towards. So that's always a great one. That's our esports facility that we work with downtown, close to OSU campus at the Gateway. It's a great time there. Parking's a lot easier, I promise. It's like $5 voucher all night, so a little bit easier to do. But that's a great one too. If you are wanting to just have a more casual event, bring a laptop, bring your card games, I've seen before, VR headset. We have the catwalk at the top floor. So it's a great place to kind of showcase that. So again, that'll be September, and we'll let you know when that's coming out. So talking about events, we have our list of July meetup, but we have our August events coming up. So I kind of wanted to showcase that. Again, Prototype and Play is the second Fridays of the month. So that's going to be online August 14th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our GameDev meetup, I always put down maybe online or in person just because I know things change. Like today, I probably would have maybe done this online, but I'm glad you're all here because I enjoy having in person. But our anticipation to have that in person, and that's going to be August 22nd from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. So we'll kind of work with that and let you know how that turns out to be. We also have community spotlights, so I'll do a little bit one today. But this is basically anything that you all want to talk about, right? Is there a future event coming up? Is there a project that you just released? Is there news coming up that you are a part of or just want to do a shout out for, right? This is a great time to do that. So that's where we can kind of showcase it in an event like this. Maybe we showcase it at a different expo or something like that, or we just post it online through our social media. However you want us to do that, that's how we can kind of help spotlight what you're doing. So all you have to do for that is email us at info@thecogg.com. You can DM me. I'm WolfG4M3R on Discord, so if you find that, I'm one of the admins there. And you can also just kind of let us know here at an event like this. So I did a couple questions from the audience, but if obviously Caleb, if you find anybody in the chat channel of YouTube and they find something else, let me know. We'll do a shout out. So talking about that, let me go ahead and go through that a little bit. We have obviously probably our closest game development expo coming up is GDEX at this point. So that is happening on October 15th through the 18th. So that's always a big one. This one's actually going to be at the Cherry Valley Hotel this year. So if you're used to going to this expo downtown, it's now changed to this. It's a little bit more on the east side of, kind of outside of Columbus. So it's not too far away, but it's a great opportunity. It's going to have a great space. I hear one of the great things is it has free parking. So if that was a big deal, which Convention Center is great. I know that parking is a little bit expensive, especially depending on where you're at. So that's going to be good. They'll have some Wi-Fi options and great, opportunities. We'll have a beautiful place to kind of have our different exhibitor spaces. So right now they have a summer sale through, it looks like August 31st. So if you go and need to do tickets or have an exhibitor pass or what have you, I think especially the tickets are the main sale, but there might still be some opportunities to get some exhibitor opportunities. Now's the time to do it. I know that they're starting to really fill up on ice space. I can't say for sure if they're totally filled up, but the independent student experimental spaces, if you're interested in applying, there's a lot of opportunities to do that. Everything is live at this point. So if you want to be an exhibitor, if you want to be a speaker, or if you want to be a volunteer, right? Or even media. So say if you're wanting to showcase the event, these are all open at this point. We're also doing performances too. So if you know someone or personally are interested in, being a part of the Saturday night like dance party, or, they had a really cool concert last year that was really neat. So if you know anybody and you want them to be part of the show that's game related, let us know. So yeah, definitely for you all that are doing game development and want to showcase, this is a great expo to prepare for. So if you are interested in joining, there's 10 by 10 booths. There's artist alley booths. There's like the ice booth, which a lot of folks from our group likes to go and do. They include exhibitor passes. They include chairs and space for that, electricity for the space. So that's always good, and great place to kind of showcase that. So, but yeah, just so you know, they have a couple different sales going on. So we had the premium discount already passed. Right now we got the summer sale discount and then the last chance discount before the end of looks like September. So feel free to kind of go through that, decide what you think is best. I know that we're going to talk more about this, but John, you mentioned that TorgsCon is coming up as well.
Torg Gamers Expo. That's
Yeah.
going to be out around November.
November, yeah.
Yeah, let me get the proper date for it.
Yep. So coming out, Torgs is coming out after GDEX. So, and is that going to be at the convention center, or is that somewhere else this year?
That is going to be at the end. Yeah, it is going to be at the Columbus Convention Center.
Okay, cool. So that'll be at the convention center too. So those are two great events to go to. And yeah, just kind of want to do a shout out for that.
Saturday, November 14th to Sunday, November 15th.
Yeah, so November 14th through the 15th. Cool. Sweet. All right. So those are the two ones that, I can think of now. If we find more, if you do a shout out at any other events around the Central Ohio area, let us know, or just in general, let us know. I want to do a little notice on the Discord. So if you were to go to our website at thecog.com, at the top right corner, you'll see all our social media and then a big red join our Discord button. If you're on your phone, it might be like the 3-line hamburger button that you need to open up to find this, but it's all there. What's great at the very top, you'll see our events. So if you're ever confused about when is our event coming up, this is a great place to go to. This is where you can kind of go in and you'll see our calendar. This is actually pulling from meetup.com, which is where we post all our events and try to update them. So before you go out, if you're going in person, please check this because we always keep this up to date. We try to make sure that our events here kind of showcase what's coming up next month. So we do it month to month. This GameDev meetup is a great opportunity to kind of see what's coming up next month. So, and if you ever want to add this to your own Google files, you can download the .isc file and you load it into your calendar on your phone or what have you. And you kind of keep up to date and you'll see that like today, we have our GameDev meetup that got loaded up from meetup.com. So, but yeah, you can check the meetup.com link here and that'll show you all the information. Again, up here is our COGG games. So if you ever want to see some of our COGG stuff, if you have something up here that you want to showcase, all you have to do is click on the Add My Game button on that first card, and it'll send a message to me to let me know to add your game. And you can see all that there. And then if you hit that red Discord button, it'll take you to this Discord page. One new update that we did this month, as you may have noticed, is we have more bot controls and whatnot. We've noticed that we've been getting a lot of spam. I will tell you, with all the different communities I'm in, we are not alone. There's definitely a lot of spam going on in Discord, and we recognize that, and we're trying to minimize that content in there. We actually have a team like dedicated to this and making sure that we get only the content that you guys are sharing and providing. That being said, if you are providing content in our Discord, please, if you're not sure whether you can share it or not, let us know. Like if you're sharing like a Google Drive link of your game, just let us know first. We'll vet it and then we'll allow you to post that there. If you do, say, like a curse word or something like that, your message may not get through. So if you're like, hey, why didn't it get through? It's like, well, it depends on what you say. But if you're having issues at all, please let us know. We see those messages on the back end, so we're happy to let them through. If it's just like you guys sharing stuff, most of the time it is. Let us know. We do have what's called like a honeypot, which is kind of cool. Like it basically captures people coming in or bots coming in and pulls them there so they can't get past and just be able to spam our servers. So we're trying our best to kind of find different ways to make it safe and secure. So if you have anything that you need through, just let us know. You'll find our welcome here. This will give you all the information you need, our different admins up here, rules and regulations. Just make sure that you look through this. It's pretty standard for most of our Discord channels. Just be sure to read those. When you have our monthly events, this kind of gives you a little snapshot of our prototype and play, which is the second Friday of the month, and our GameDev meetup, which is this time about fourth Saturday of the month. And then you have our announcements, which that's the big ones that if you want to see what's coming up, that's what Caleb and I and team kind of go through for that. You'll see our event recording soon, so this should be coming up soon. And you guys will see this updated here in a little bit. introduce yourself. So be sure, if you haven't had a chance to, please do let us know. And we would be happy to kind of like get to know you, maybe point you in the right direction. So as you're going through here, we try to watch these and see if there's a great way for you to get in there. We have our resources page, so our game dev tools. If you're interested in Unreal, Unity, Godot, or any other engine, that specific concept, this is a great place to start. So if you're like, hey, I'm new to Godot and I'm trying to get through this code issue or something, this might be a great place to start. Our game dev feedback is a great way if you also have any other questions. So the game dev help is a great place to kind of add kind of like a forum-based opportunity. If you have a very specific question, you can share your games here, which I like to share in online and in-person events like this. The newest content gets pushed to the top the last 30 days. So I try to look through that and share it here. You can do your work in progress, which is periodical updates. Thanks for sharing that. We have our job and collaboration. So if you just say, hey, I'm looking for a position, or if I have a project that I'm willing to pay someone for, just make sure that you be very clear about that. If you have questions, there, just let us know. It's a kind of like a lack of a better term, a Craigslist version of opportunities to get involved in game development. So we by no means are sponsoring this in a sense, but it's a great place to start if you just have questions, or if you're like, hey, I need a quick logo or a quick, teaser trailer. I think, we had some shout outs here. Someone was looking for like a 30th, seconds, video or what have you, or website. Game Jam shares. So we encourage game jams. So that's kind of like a hackathon for games. We do have one coming up for GDEX. So we always have that about 2 weeks before, a couple days, almost 2 weeks, to kind of showcase that. And it's a good opportunity to kind of get used to making games with other people. So as we start to have those, we will start to add them here. And then the community is the last bit I'll showcase. So there's a general channel. If you don't know what to talk about, go ahead and post it here. You can kind of start to talk there. And then you have your business talk. So business talk, if you're starting up a company, or if you have a question for something that might be more legal based, that might be a good place to start. Our external events, Tom usually showcases a lot of the stuff from the sandbox. So I think it's sandbox.space is where they kind of share a lot of different community members. We've just kind of been collaborating with them to kind of share their projects or their one-on-one sessions with other game developers. So a great way to see that. That's every Wednesday. So if you are not busy on a Wednesday, I think that's when they're still doing it. At noon? Okay. Wednesday at noon. It's a great place to kind of see one-on-one conversations from local Central Ohio and other game development folks. Shameless plugs. If you are releasing a game or anything else game related, feel free to add it here. Design, art, and audio are places to kind of share some of your works in progress, but specific to those mediums. Hardware is great. I asked someone if they had a Croco Cart or GBA eDrive, because I think it's like a mod tool that someone was looking to kind of showcase on those devices. But it's a great way if you like have a cool controller that you want to talk about, or if you're modding a computer setup or what have you. There's great places for that. Randoms for everything else, music, game social, pets, all kinds of good stuff. And then when we do our prototype and plays online, there is a prototype and play category. So normally what would happen are projects and kind of go through that. But before I do that, I'm going to go back to my slideshow to finish it up. So again, here's a snapshot of our events coming up. So you can take a look at that. And then today we are going to go through, obviously we've already gone through news, local events, COGG games, presenters. I'll have like a couple things I want to kind of share. We weren't able to get Stardust Mystery RPG up today, but they are sharing their project in Discord. And then at a future date, if we can have them actually come in and share it, I'd love to be able to do that. And then today I have a couple community spotlights that I want to kind of share for today. And then there's a link to our Discord again. And then I always like to do a icebreaker of the month. So feel free, if you're online in Discord, to talk in the chat channel, or if you want to join our Discord, you can join one of our voice channels there as you'd like. But the icebreaker of the month is, what is your favorite secret Easter egg in video games? Is there something that you think is fun? This is just to kind of get the conversation started. You don't necessarily have to use this, but I always like to have something fun for people to think about. So before I get started, is there anybody else that has any other announcements, that wants to share a project or a game or an idea, or anything, other questions that you have for me today? I know all of you have been here, so you've kind of, if you guys need access to Wi-Fi, it's over on the board over there. Feel free to come and go as you guys need to. Bathroom is down the hall on the left, first hallway on the left, and I think we're good to go. Okay. So first off, what I'm going to do is we're going to move into some of the share your games. So as I mentioned, in our Discord channel, we have a share your games section here. So, and actually I'm going to do this up here because that's more of my account. But you can, if you're a user just kind of coming in for the first time, you can see the share your games channel here under the game feedback section. And you'll see that in here we have kind of starting from the top, you can actually add a new post. So I encourage people, even if you have your own Discord channel or if you have your own like website, feel free to add it here because I usually try to go through these and share these as best I can through the events like this. And then even if you have this and it's like you haven't updated in like 6 months, that's okay. Update it and it'll float to the top. So if you have a project that you're working on, you want to give people a progress update, you can share it here. You can share your Discord channel here. Fine to do that. Again, if it's like an actual download from a site like Google Drive, just let us know. For security reasons, we want to make sure to vet that before we get that through. But just let us know. We're happy to kind of share that. So we actually have Inceptor who's done a couple updates. They started this up a couple, a couple years ago. But they have a couple updates. So if I jump to the newest content, you'll see that they have another question in mind. They just did an update this month. So this is a great place too if you want to get feedback on your game. So Inceptor is kind of like if I remember right, it was a Game Boy. Yeah, it was a super Game Boy or. Yeah. Yes, vertical shooter. Yep. So I actually liked having him go in and showcase this at Prototype and Plays. He actually has like this little Game Boy printer that he has. So when you play the game, you can actually print off your high score and kind of take that with you. So that's something that's kind of neat. So, but yeah, Liam has a great way of kind of like sharing his kind of more retro games and whatnot. So it's a really cool project to look at. So definitely keep an eye on that. And then if you want to see more, he's got a new version on Itch, it looks like, from a little while ago. So you can take a look at that and kind of see some of the graphics that he's been using. So, but yeah, for like ways to collaborate, whether that's through music or projects or whatnot. So he's usually doing a lot to kind of give updates on there too. So feel free to check that out. We have an update from Anti-Utopia. Let's see what they've got. So they have playtesting lighting and shadows. So and then they have a short demo demonstrating weapons lowering effects. Anti-Europa, and then so they can kind of show that. Though I think that was from the month before. He may have already showed that. But let's go ahead and do a little visit on their YouTube channel for this. I got audio, but I don't hear anything. But yeah, just kind of testing some shadows. And they shared this in the last Prototype and Play in person event too. So I know there's then we have, I keep going to the wrong one, don't I? We have another project. This one I wanted to talk a little bit about because this is a new project from O'Connell. So O'Connell's done a couple different game projects. You'll notice that Mega Golf is a new project of theirs. So it's a vehicular vehicular. Thank you. I've never heard of that one. So it's a vehicular combat forced into a mini golf game. So smash a 2-ton metal sphere through buildings, over cars, and most importantly, into other players. So currently, Mega Golf supports up to 4 local players as of Alpha 035. And then there's a Kickstarter winding down in 9 days to fund development. Buy me a new mouse. Okay, I love that. So they're just looking to be able to buy a new mouse so they can like make the game a little bit easier. But they have a Kickstarter, so it may be over at this point. Let me double check. Oh, 3 days to go. So if you want to, you just go to our Discord, and you can click on that and find more on there. But we'll go ahead and play this a little bit. So smash your way through cities of the rich in this bloody game of giant golf. There you go. Simple and sweet. So yeah, if you want to back this project, it's pretty simple. You can take a look at that too and see if you can. Looks like they have enough to buy a mouse. So thank you for those who help support that too. But yeah, I'd be excited to kind of see more updates. They have some sketches and whatnot kind of coming through. So they have a Death Hill, right? So game level. So that's cool. Kind of go through some of their dev updates. That's cool. I didn't know you could like blow up buildings too. I like the little people like going around.
Reminds me a little of Blast Core.
Blast Core?
It's on the N64. It's a game where you control robots and you could end up destroying buildings and whatnot.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't heard of that game. That's really neat. I'll have to see how that game plays. So it looks like, someone said Sonic 3D game, a little bit like that too. Yeah, so adding in chaos. So they have, I guess, some sort of countdown I noticed. So I like these little like sneak peeks of like stuff is happening. I might be a countdown of their Kickstarter. So this is the newest one. 6 days. So I would say keep an eye on this. I'm sure there's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then something's going to happen. So keep an eye on this channel, and you'll see something at the last day. So we have a game that we've had in the past, recent past. We have the clicker management game where you run a team of famine fatal mobsters in a 1930s New York City. So I was looking forward to this because I know that there was a little bit of a mystery on it quite yet. But if you want to play test it, I think we may have mentioned this before, but there's a itch.io page that you can go to. Really beautiful game, amazingly illustrated. You can kind of check this out as well. So this is Welcome to the Syndicate. So it's got a lot of different opportunities to kind of make a little bit more of that. So I'm not as familiar. Let's see what the synopsis is. So we have rise to infamy through this hits, heist, and upheaval as you build and manage your own mob of famine fatals in 1930s New York City. Inspired by games like Cookie Clicker and Honeycam Studio, Welcome to Syndicate, in a managerial simulation game where players orchestrate the synergy of their newfound crime family. So yeah, definitely check that out. Looks like it's being developed every couple of days. And what I would say for any of these projects, if you can help out at all, is just provide feedback, right? If you get a chance to try it out, that's one of the biggest things as you are developing. If you can get any kind of feedback at all, you can post down here. You log in and you can leave a feedback there. Really, a little bit goes a long way. So yeah, lots of exciting updates here. New snapshots. It looks like we got a couple new things coming up too. So cool. Thanks for sharing that. We got another one, which Caleb kind of helped me on board a little bit. So there's a new one called Scourge Fall. So this is a game that is what? Yes, please, please do. Yeah, see if you're.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
I'm talking at the mic for
coming through on
while.
a separate microphone here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so Scourgefall, this is kind of a cool thing that's happening. So there's a video game called Magicite, which came out in 2015, which is ancient, basically, at this point, right? But there was kind of a lot of people who played this game and loved it. It had a kind of like a magic spark to it that was just really nice. It was 4-player co-op. Everybody kind of worked really well together on it. And my friend group, we played it a ton. My wife played it a ton. So basically what happened was it was using Unity Unet from forever ago, their old networking system. And it really just has a lot of problems. Like there was a push update in maybe like, I want to say maybe as late as 2017 that kind of broke everything. Like the game was really kind of mostly unplayable. And then the developer moved on and went to other projects and did other things and kind of abandoned it in terms of like playability. That's kind of an interesting sidebar if you guys ever want to talk about this, the idea of like as a solo indie developer, every game that you put out there is a potential cost of maintainability. And so you as a developer have to kind of make a decision at what point is the effort required to maintain one of your older games, especially if it was like early in your coding journey and it's not as tight as like maybe they are today.
Right.
You got to make a decision on what are you going to do about that, right? Like, are you going to continue to spend hours to rebuild your old projects and keep them updated and working? Or do you just say, this is done, it accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and I need to move on? Anyway, that's a whole interesting other conversation. But there was a community of people who grew up playing this game. It's weird to say because like I was 25 when this game came out, right? And so I wasn't growing up playing this game, but there were literally people who grew up playing this game and are now coming back to it as developers now going, I love this game. I'd love to see if I could like recapture it. So there's actually there's several Discords involved in here, but basically there was a project called Magicite Rewritten, which was the idea of basically reworking Magicite into a playable state. So there's they decomped the DLLs, they patched things, and they've created patches that you can put over that actually fix some of the bugs in Magicite, so you can kind of like play it today. There's now the project that I'm in charge of, which is Magicite Rewritten, which is a total rewrite of the original Magicite game from the ground up, which is basically going to be released as a mod, so you can have to own the base game, and then you kind of patch our mod on top of it, and so you can play it. Now, on the other side, there's this other guy, I think his username is Amradil, and he decided to remake the game, not in a one-to-one way. So this is his own original project, heavily inspired by the original Magicite game, but this is kind of his own deal, and he's building it up from the ground up. It looks obviously very similar. It has a kind of a similar, thing going with it. He actually just had his first official playtest, which is a feature that you can do on Steam, where basically you will put it out available for people to download and play for a certain amount of time, and then it removes it kind of from your library. So it gives you just, as a developer, it's a tool that lets you kind of interface with your players in a cool way through playtesting. Really neat. So yeah, Skirtfall just had the first official playtest. I will note they're not really from around here. I think they're somewhere in Europe, but they kind of got connected to COGG through me, and so they've been kind of advertising their Skirtfall project there. But I'm sure there are going to be more playtests in the future. It's a cool one. I'm really rooting for him and for the project. Obviously, like, I love this game. I love Magicite. I'm loving what they're doing in Scourgefall. So anyway, that's a cool one to kind of share with y'all.
So this one is like different in the way that it's a different direction than what you're making, right, Caleb, with your group, because it's kind of like the one that you're making is kind of like a reviving the old one to make sure it works currently.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is it's using all of the same original assets, the same like animations, all of the stuff that was kind of in the original Unity project. We decomped it out, but the code is a 100% rewrite from the ground up of the whole code. We have a couple of reasons we're doing that. Mod support being one of them, modernizing Unity for another, using Steam integration in a new way for another. So there's a lot of reasons why we're doing it that way.
Right. Cool. Yeah. So I think you even have share your games like link in here too.
There is one. It's hard to find because I tried editing the text or the image and it didn't
the
work,
initial
and
first.
now it's just like a wall of text in there somewhere. So yeah, oh well.
But yeah,
I think that was it. Maybe. No. Maybe further. I don't think I've posted an update in a while. I should. I just took a new screen cap video of where we were. But
I would encourage anyone who's been posting in here if they have any kind of updates. Like I said, we try our best to kind of share. There it is.
No,
oh no, wait, that's his
Scourgefall.
original.
That's the Scourgefall one.
Wait, did I just loop? Oh, weird. I did. Okay,
You
went
did.
to the
Yeah,
top.
that's weird. Isn't there a search feature? Can't you search?
Yeah. So what would be called
MAGIC.
We have a lot of magic things.
I don't know. I guess yeah.
And then
I
there's
guess
somewhere.
TE. Yeah, Magicites. Put TE at the end there. MAGICTE. Oh, there it was.
There you go. So this is the one Caleb worked on a little while ago. So if you want to see the kind of revival of this project from the original assets and kind of creating it from the ground up in Unity and other different team members, this is...
Also, please go hound Discord on being able to edit your posts like thumbnail page, please.
Yeah, I don't know why that's such a hard thing.
I don't know why you can't do that. It doesn't make any sense.
So, but yeah, so that's just to kind of let you know, like, you know, there's multiple different versions of this project. And yeah, thanks for that share, Caleb, because I saw it and I thought you were related to it some capacity, but that being the case, if you want to learn more about this, like I showed, there's a Steam page that you can use, and you can add it to your wish list for when it's being released, and kind of keep up to date there, and then any other updates as we go. So cool. This was one that do know F Swans. I don't know exactly how to say it. They actually showcase this. They're new to our group. They showcased this this month in the Prototype and Play online. So this was kind of cool. They do have an itch page, but essentially it's a how did he describe it? Sorry. It's a 2D orbital simulator where the player rescues stranded astronauts and bridges them back to their home planet. So new and likely finalist release with some visual changes. So he kind of compared it to Kerbal Space Station. So if you ever played that, it's basically once you finally make the spaceship, this is kind of, to my understanding, how the game plays a little bit. But basically you would go in here, start at a position, have a quest, like maybe you're depositing astronauts to a nearby planet or moon or what have you, or just kind of navigating these different concepts, and then basically using the orbit to kind of navigate around these different planets or suns or what have you. So really cool game. It was neat to kind of see how they worked with it. We had a cool demo, but if you would like to play it yourself, their its page is right there, which especially for folks that are making their first games. I didn't know if I mentioned this before, but if you want, itch.io is a great place to kind of share your games. It's free to do. It almost has an unlimited amount of space that you can upload, though. It's pretty flexible. And you can kind of add, digital projects. You can embed web games in there into the browser. You can, if you have a tabletop game, you can upload a PDF. It's very versatile. And so in this one, like, they have like a HTML, looks like Godot. Okay, cool. Awesome. Another Godot player, developer. So you can kind of see a little bit of that too. See if it'll actually, did not preload this, so I don't know if it'll work. Oh, wow. They did a lot of new updates. So yeah, so you can use this to play a little bit. We'll do a demo. The objective of the game is to retrieve stranded astronauts from around the system and return them to your starting planet. So astronauts are displayed as blue dots or blue arrows when off screen. And so yeah, it looks like these little blue dots right here. I like the little filtering effect that you have in this tutorial. Is neat. So to land safely, to ensure your relative velocity is below the safe landing speed, relative velocity will then turn green. You must land on the astronaut to successfully pick him up. Fuel is limited but can be found orbiting bodies of the solar system. Flying over orange dots will replenish 50% of your fuel tank. So good luck, rescue team. It's a little bit of a tutorial. Actually, just tell us what the controls are. That would be my one tidbit, is what are the computer controls for that. See what the settings are. Chromatic aberration. That's cool. Yep. Wait, can you increase that? Oh, yeah. They'll turn it up. Oh, that's vignette. Oh, yeah, you're right. So you can see a little bit of the outside corners fading in. That's cool. I like these little spots. Oh, they have a level editor. That's cool. Okay. I was going to say. Well, I didn't put anything in it, so I think I just landed into the sun. All right. So, yeah. All right, so we'll play with that here in a little bit. I actually want to play a version of this. So don't make a level with only a sun in it. That'll not work well. But yeah. So we've got looks like we got our little planets, and then let's see what the controls are. Oh. So it looks like I can use A and D to kind of rotate. Oops. F for fixed camera. Okay. Astro. Oh, I can use the arrow keys too. Huh. I don't know. Let me see if I can blast off somewhere. Oh. What was that? Oh, R is for reset. Okay. So I have this little line being shown. I wonder if that'll... Huh.
Do you use the mouse?
Doesn't seem like that's the case. I'm getting a good confirmation. Oh, so that little orange dot was the astronaut, and then
I think the orange dot was fuel, and the blue dot is the person on the planet that you rescue. It disappeared off the main panel.
oh, I got disconnected.
I'm so sorry. I was fiddling with something.
That's okay.
That's the wrong cable.
You're good. And then, yeah, I don't. Here, hold on. Let me do this. So here's the controls. So that'll be my first tidbit. Is we shift left control, throttle, X kill thrust, tab change trajectory view mode, F change camera. Yeah, so I would suggest having these here somewhere, and or also in the tutorial. That would be helpful. Let me see. So if I shift control, maybe. Right. Oh. Go this way. Go this way. Goodbye. So I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think, wow. Can I get back into... No.
Which is counterintuitive. Anybody else here played Kerbal Space?
Yeah, he has.
Like it's very counterintuitive as to how and what direction you should thrust it in different orbits, kind of circularized orbits and whatnot. So my recommendation would be to have some sort of tutorialization
Mm-hmm.
for that because it's not.
You're gonna do what I'm doing right now.
You're gonna think you're
Because
like a
I,
video game,
I,
like
s-
Sim.
I saw this, but I didn't actually play the game. I saw him playing it on there, so I just wasn't sure exactly what was the best approach. So if I missed my astronaut. I think that's the, I don't know what the little, either that's fuel or,
But like when you first start that kind of weird circulation current orbit, it's when you increase your thrust, you're gonna make your orbit get more elliptic orbits. So as you're adding speed, you're further away from the sun.
right. And I don't know how to,
Get into a slow down.
oh. Go back.
This space program does quite well is it teaches you orbital mechanics and gives you some helper kind of like overlays to guide you as to what to do.
Gotcha.
So I would recommend
This game it is. Do I don't know his real name. Do you know F Swans? I think. Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just showing, they're not here to show it in my place, so I'm doing my due diligence of sharing it, which is good. Like, I kind of like this in a sense because, like, if you go to someone's, like, page, whether it's on Steam or if it's on itch, you want to make sure that they're able to kind of figure it out themselves, too. But yeah, we'll definitely like to see maybe some sort of tutorial there. But the one thing I like is graphics look great. I like the initial concept. Yes, more. I think the big thing too is I know that there's like some sort of mission that I need to do, but it's not very clear to me on what that might be quite yet.
well, it's to pick up the stranded astronaut. So I think at the bottom of the screen, you see those blue arrows? That's where the astronauts are. They're off screen.
Oh, I see.
So you want to get into their orbit and approach them with a slow enough speed to pick them up.
I see. Go back.
So you don't, in order to do it right, you actually don't want to aim at them. I know it's weird.
No, you're right.
The thing about orbital mechanics is it's,
Well, you saw that, right?
huh? Yeah, you want to get in their orbit, but in order to get into their orbit, you don't want to just
I'm going backwards.
thrust at them, because if you do, you're just gonna make your orbit more eccentric, or you'll typically fly off in a direction you didn't expect.
You're just changing your ellipticity.
Yep.
You're changing how slow your circle goes from finesse to like a
Finesse. Ah! That's what I wanted, but it's not what I wanted.
It's part of the reason.
Oh, so another interesting thing is X will kill the thrusts.
And that's the other thing that might be helpful for this game is to lower the sensitivity of the thrust. It looks like you can build up speed way too fast.
Yeah. And I wish there was a way, there might be a way, it's not apparent to me, like how to zoom in and out. Because when I first start, it's not apparent to me where I need to go. But when I zoom out, I can see, okay, yeah, there's down here where I need to go. So okay, so that's where the dots come into play, is if I know, okay, they're going to be at that position. Like I think of like phases of the moon. Like where do I need to be to help them? Okay, let's slow down. Eh.
So if you want to, like right now, your current orbit is that orange line, and it goes way out there. So if you want to make it more circular, you want to aim away from the direction you're currently traveling and thrust to slow down. There you go. So that's so now you've got a very tight elliptical orbit around the sun.
But now it's like too late.
Yeah, it is a little late for that one.
So there's a way to time warp. So if I do,
That just speeds things.
yeah,
up or slows
which might be nice because then I can.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, I might have to play this a little bit more, but it's
one of the
neat.
things about, orbital mechanics, they're hard. Like,
Yeah. There's no other method, right? Like if you need to land on a planet or pick something up from an orbital spot, you really have to know through mathematics where to be able to use
either
those.
that or have a tremendous amount of fuel to burn.
Right.
It's
We just watched Project Hail Mary last night.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Just got a bunch of that in there.
Yes. Yeah. It's really fascinating, and I think that it's neat to have like a game demonstrate that, because I think you see a lot of it, and all that stuff's been like years in the making of making sure they orbit this way mathematically, like drop things off. But when you're actually doing it, you can see, okay, like this is what they're trying to kind of accomplish. With those opportunities. Yeah, this is cool, and like I said, they have a level editor, so if you want to.
That I wonder if I can like add a planet. I do like how easy it is to kind of like move around and kind of play around with this a bit. That's pretty neat. So I've got like a planet, and the planet has a moon. And then let's see what asteroid does. Okay, so there's asteroids out there. And then there's a lot of different... Wow, there's a lot of... Oh. Okay, so that's... terms I'm not familiar with. Perihelion, apophelion, lock circulate. This is kind of neat. So I'm assuming these are kind of like different ways that different like orbital, like planets and astrological.
defining the shape of an orbit.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's like when you think of the moon being closest to Earth versus farthest from Earth.
Yes.
Or like the fact that the Earth's warmer versus colder seasons are not when they're closest or farthest from the sun.
Right.
Because it's based on the ellipse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
cool. And then you can save it. Well, I guess I could. Happy planets. Then we can test it. This time, hopefully, I shouldn't. Nope. Okay. I got to figure out how to. Oh, this is the demo, I think. Yeah. Okay. I got to figure out how to put my astronaut in there, or my spaceship in there. So, cool. Well, I just want to demo that real quick. But yeah, great start, and I'd like to see more progress. I could tell there was more progress since the last time we saw it, so glad to see that. Yeah, new build coming with variable thrust will probably be last update for a while and move on to other things. Okay, cool. And that's great. Yeah, the only thing I would suggest, if you have a little bit more of the, like I know you have on the itch page, you have some of the controls there, but also put them in the game. And then if you could have some sort of demo first project that kind of demos a little bit of what it's like, that could be helpful too. And then let me double check. Micro Rogue. I know that you've done a couple things, but you have some updates for this month. So there's a new frost status effect that allows you to freeze enemies and lets them freeze you. I think we played this a little bit online with some folks on Prototype and Play this month. This developer is especially looking for feedback, so if you guys get a chance to try these... Oh, Wilhelm Scream, thank you. Please do, if you do play it and test it out. Let me see if they do have a link. I think they do. They have it on Steam. You can wishlist it. So if you do have a chance to try it out, please leave some feedbacks. And I think they may even have it if you go down to Prototype and Play category here, Micro Rogue. They might, yeah, right here. Since you all are part of the cool COGG group, you can get the sneak peek of their itch page for free, and you can play it here. Again, just like before, please leave some comments if you can. He's always iterating on this quite a bit, so it's a great way for him to see, what's working, what can be improved. And then we have Tandemonium. I think this is where we're starting to get into previous months, but definitely check them out. Yeah, Pete, he's usually here, but he's always doing some more stuff too. So he's got a play test going he had this month. I was going to ask him how that went. So same thing, if you get a chance to try it out. Tandemonium's kind of a neat dual bicycle. I know Eric, you were kind of helping Pete out with this too. He's got it up on Steam. He's got it up on his own website. And it's a great way to kind of play with two people at the same time on a single bike, Tandemonium. So you can try that out. And he's looking for play testers as well. So it's a fun little game on a bike, have obstacles in the way. So you can kind of play with somebody else somewhere else, and together you both ride this single bike. So it's pretty cool. And then I think that's about it, because this is from the month before. So if you do have some game project updates, Lasso Lad, yes. So you just posted that, didn't you? There you go. So yeah. No, but to your point, you did show a little bit of an update during Prototype and Play. So if you'd like, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, all it is a screenshot down below. I had an earlier version of this dressing room, which will serve as your hub world between your fights. For the uninitiated, for those who don't know, Lasso Lad is going to be a platformer boss rush sort of game, similar to the Kirby boss rushes, because that's where I find the most fun designing, not the levels between the bosses themselves.
Yeah.
So instead of you having 3 separate menu options for changing your play style, viewing cutscenes, testing out controls, and then initiating starting the next fight, I just put it all into one room where you have on the left the mirror where you can go give yourself a mustache, and that changes certain parameters of how you play. Toss the ball at the now punching bag that swings back and forth.
That's cool.
That was one of the pieces of feedback I received, was that just having the poster on the wall and that serves as your test dummy target wasn't really clear how that's interactable and to use a punching bag. And yeah, so there's that. There will eventually be cutscenes you can view through the window there, looking up into space and seeing the bosses talk amongst themselves before coming down one by one very politely to fight you instead of all at once. And then you go off on the door on the right with the flashing lights to start the next fight. So also simpler background. Right now, I'm just using free public domain images I can find for some of the things and doing some other things by hand. And it's just kind of fun looking for those images and things like the posters and the cactus, which is very far up, which he cares for, but he has to keep it at a really far away because he is a balloon after all. But finding those things, adding them in has been fun. So I just need to clean up the second boss fight before I throw it out there in the world again. But that's what's going on with it.
Yeah, and one of the cool things that you showed last time, I don't know if I got a screenshot of it, but you were showing your progress of how you make some of the bosses, which is you basically kind of kit bash together a couple of like objects that you have lying around, and you kind of paint them up and then take pictures of them and make kind of like sprite sheets in a sense, or illustrations in your game to be able to create that, which I thought was really cool. Like, you're not just going in and drawing it out by hand or modeling it or whatever in a 3D program. You're actually taking pictures of found objects, which is perfectly, great to be able to make, the assets that you need. So I've seen that a lot of times where people will do stop motion or claymation or just illustrations through different objects and taking pictures, which is really cool. It makes a really neat style. So I appreciate that too. So
Thank you.
But yeah, this is great. We've got.
It looks like.
There was another one just updated.
Was there? Like everybody posting him in. Yeah. No, that's cool. I will refresh, but yeah, just so you know, we do, because they were on the you were in the prototype and play, Gerald. So if you want to see some of those updates too, there's Lasso Lad down here, which I guess we don't have anything yet. But if you do find that as we periodically do those prototype and plays, you'll see some updates there too. Yeah, thanks for sharing, and yeah, I'd love to see the progress. We have. Oh wait, that was the wrong one. Yes. So KONOH, you had done an update, Life and Death, the card game. Very nice. So you can get some of their social media updates on Substack. So these are some of the older ones. And then, yeah. So yep, still alive, still developing. Yes. So, but yeah, I would say if you want to see some of their progress, feel free to, jump into their Substack. You can kind of see some of their updates. Just going to skip that for now. But it's great. I would encourage you, if you are, doing updates on your games. I mean, obviously, our Discord's a great place to do that. But try to publish them online, too, because that's how you can start to find other people. You can start to build your fan base. I think what you want to kind of be cautious of is like building the game, releasing it, and then not talking to anyone beforehand. I've seen that happen a couple times, which is fine. Like if you just want to kind of showcase your game and have people play it, that's great. If you want to kind of, sell it eventually or have a larger audience get access to it, try to do that iteratively as you can through online distribution some places. Substack is a great place. Medium.com is another great place you can share that kind of status updates. I'm sure if you're like, for example, Eric, I don't know if they have stuff on Unity, but you may have some forums you could post there too, just to kind of get some people. Right. But then you can share those to then our Discord or what have you. And then it kind of gets more people kind of looking at it and getting a chance to kind of take a look at how they're going. So, but yeah, so we've got, some devlogs. I think I've showed this before, but it's a great way to kind of see some updates if you like. But yeah, so definitely check this out. They might have a project up. I can't remember. Oh, wait. Okay, yes. So if you click on the first link in the very first part of the channel, they have their itch.io page if you want to test it and play it out yourself. So it's a card game, Life and Death. So it's the power of life and death lies in one's tongue. So in this case, it lies in the hands of the form of your powerful cards and the powers of creation and destruction. I think this actually got started through a game jam that we had one time, but I could be wrong. I try to remember when that happened. But either way, it's a cool card game. about creation and destruction. So he says, "You warn you, the dear player, not to get carried away, as there is one thing that is true about power: it's corrupt. It corrupts." So, yeah. So we have a demo there if you want to showcase that, see updates there, and also leave feedback if you can. And I think that should be everybody in here. Is there anybody else in the room that wants to share their project? And I've got Anthony, if you want to talk a little bit about yours, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Anybody else have something they want to share? Yeah, John.
I don't have the proper machine. I've just been working on another level for Codes and Clones. Basically,
Okay.
it's an apocalyptic maze escape, and right
Oh,
now,
cool.
been doing it in our class, and we now the next thing we're looking to do is we're looking to create some random effects in the maze to provide for a few more obstacles. Still is a challenge to get through, but then change the music, have a wall of fire coming after you,
That's
and
cool.
stuff like that. And then another outlier level, then another code level where we have the outliers from the previous codes, the outlier numbers. You have to use those to solve the final escape.
Okay.
And then probably get some character designs together, and I'll consider that second drafting finished. And then I want to go back to Space Turret and finish that up before going to third drafting and finalizing Codes and Clones.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because the Space Turret, it's like I created that, but then I realized there was a one-trick pony. I needed something else to expand on. But right now, it's like I stopped when I was in I finished like second drafting for that. So there's a few things I want to finish on that, a few add-ons, and like a boss gauntlet, and maybe even having some unused assets to serve as debris to maybe do a rail gun or something like that.
okay.
And then there's the assets transfer so I can sell it professionally online.
Cool.
So
Yeah. Awesome. So sounds like Codes and Clones has a new level coming up, and then Space Turret has some updates coming soon.
2 new levels, and we're working
Okay.
on the first one now.
Sweet.
And then comes the second outlier, then the menu, and then arrange a new final escape.
Cool.
But then when we finally get to the third drafting of Codes and Clones, I'm going to want to do some kind of video imagery for that to really set up the story.
Okay.
That was still something I was always drawn to, like the 90s games. They always had movie clips in that.
Oh yeah.
So that's definitely something I want to do.
Cool. Sounds exciting. Yeah. Keep us posted, and then if you ever get a chance to share it in our Discord, or if you do some video work too, your podcast, that might be a cool way to kind of share it too.
Yeah,
Let us know. We'd be happy to share it around.
I'm hoping to get my latest video finished by the end of the week because I always try to do it monthly.
Okay.
I've also got another video that's in first draft stage where I give my thoughts on AI as it's happening right there.
Okay.
And I've also been doing some video experiments with AI as well.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah. Cool. Great updates. So thanks so much. And yeah, we'll keep posted on that. But yeah, without
There
further
do,
ado,
Anthony. If you want, I think I have the game downloaded because I've got a copy of it from Steam. So if you just want to play it on here and kind of go through it, you're more than welcome to. Yes.
One quick thing.
Yeah.
This last Saturday, I went to California and went to a conference called Open Sauce.
You did.
Yeah. For those
Cool.
who don't know, it's a technology maker and science convention. A bunch of YouTubers get together and also independent folks. But what I did not realize is that they had tons of people showcasing video games as well, not just 3D
Oh,
printing
cool. I didn't
stuff
know that.
and whatnot. So that was a nice surprise.
That's
so
neat.
Something like you may think like, oh, I want to take it to a much, much, much bigger audience of folks. That's something to consider, I guess.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. Open Sauce is something new. I think they're probably like, what, on their
third year or something?
This is their fourth.
Their fourth? Yeah.
I mean, they have a lot of technical engineers. They have like Adam Savage from like Mythbusters there. They have like a lot of YouTubers that do like 3D printing and whatnot. I follow them quite a bit. I've always wanted to go. I didn't know that. I'm not surprised that they have video games there too, but it's a great like collaboration of things. But that's encouragement too. Like, find what you can find like for places to kind of share your projects. It's almost like a way to kind of give yourself a chance to be like, okay, this is coming up, 6, 7, 8 months down the road. Kind of puts you in line to kind of get your game in a good spot. Because I think a lot of times we just kind of wait till we want to present it, and then it's like, wow, it's been 4 years, and you're like, oh, what have I done? Put yourself out there, like encourage yourself to kind of like showcase it someplace, and whether it's a event like this or it's an expo, definitely try to find one that works for you, and try to get yourself in gear to kind of share it, because we want to see what it looks like. Talk about sharing. Anthony, if you want to do a little bit of shout out about what you're working on with College Quest or anything else that you're working on, talk a little bit about the game, and then I have it loaded on the desktop.
Okay.
So you can kind of play it there. Let me know if you think
Yeah,
I
we got it loaded.
So if you
minimize, right there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And it's
Brave. Hey, smart man's using Brave, blocking all that tracking stuff. Hi, I'm Anthony. Was really going to be doing a presentation today, but I can talk. I can talk like the wind. My cohort, David Graves, is home right now on the couch with his back. He asked me to do shout outs. So drinking game, every time I mention David Graves, please take a drink, because he said he wanted a lot of shout outs. So David Graves, hope you're enjoying watching this live. So, can I give a little history before I go? So, and I have a presentation I was planning on preparing that is like an inspirational TED talk on how to basically follow your dreams, your passions, but I didn't bring it, stupid me. So I'll give the short version. I've done a little bit of everything creative. If I was going to define myself, I'm a creative person. I've done podcasting, and of course now my mouth's going to get all parched when I try to present. I've done podcasting. I've done music, started numerous bands, and in between various projects of podcasting and starting a band, I started to revisit a game idea that I had, and this was in 2011, based off a game I made on my old Apple IIe and stuff that I wanted to make, but never had the technology and stuff you couldn't do in Apple Soft Basic. So I made the game, but was excited because that's when Apple just came out with their new App Store, but unfortunately, it was only for the Universal apps, and the game that I used to make the game was only available on PowerPC. So, fortunately, made it, just stay on the shelf. Went and did various other things throughout my life. I ended up doing music, doing production, doing lots of drawings of my own type of transformers called Zapbots, story writing. When COVID hit, revisited all that, learned how to draw on the iPad. The point is that all these different skill sets, your talent stacks, all sort of added up to this. So when my partner got sick with cancer, unfortunately I couldn't do my music anymore because I had to stay home, and I started to look and see if there was what else I could do creatively. And I wanted to take that game that I made 2011 and basically recreate it, because I had all the sprites, I had all the components, and so I looked around. I actually settled on Construct, which I think your game's made in as well, to basically just recreate it, and I started learning how to program again. So I did Walking Stick, I did a game called Megamax, and these are all based on the games that I wanted to create when I was a little kid back in the 80s, but just either didn't have the technology or the ability or the money. Now, of course, we live here in the future, and everything's very easy to be able to create anything. So I did Walking Stick, I did Megamax, I did a Transformers game, and then I was talking with David Graves when I went out to coffee with David Graves. And he asked me, what's your next game? And I thought about it, and I said, well, I remember this old idea I had of a secret dungeon with an underground room, and I drew all the drawings on paper and whatnot. And that sort of came to the idea of, what if I did my own version of Leisure Suit Larry, but from my viewpoint? And what I decided to do was basically make a Sierra LucasArts type game that was similar to something that would run on the Apple IIe. So I had a lot of interesting stories from my life. I'm always trying to tell stories from my life, whether it's from my music or the video games. So first thing I did was check to see, okay, someone else has probably done this before. And I came across the Venture Game Studio developer and or system, and downloaded that, watched a couple of tutorials, went, okay, this is going to be very easy because, one, I'm colorblind, so I can only see so many colors. Apple IIe was 16 colors, which is great, so that made drawing very simple. And I settled on a program called Pixin to draw the characters and the backgrounds because they had both a iPad version and a macOS version, and you could sync it between the two. So I decided to make School Quest, which I'll see if I could pull it up here real quick. So School Quest was the first adventure game, and basically based on stories throughout my years at high school. So, for example, I wanted to go see Phil Collins. My mom said, you can't go see Phil Collins till you have a ride. I asked my friend, will you take me if we get tickets? He's like, yes, but I'm doing the tuxedo thing. You have to go get a tuxedo for prom and give him my name so I get money for that. So I'm like, fine. My mom then said, well, you're not getting a tuxedo for prom until you have a date. So I had asked my sister's best friend out on a date just to get a tuxedo, just to get a ride to go see Phil Collins. These are various other stories of also somebody asking me to make a fake ID on the Amiga computer, the top graphics computer at the time, are all part of what became part of School Quest. So I spent about 6 months on this, and this was actually very interesting because even before it was out, I was posting photos and people were getting very excited about it. And I've realized that I may have just found a niche that people would be interested in. So released it, and strangely enough, people paid money for it. So I'm easily distracted by outside noise. So I went, okay, great. This is actually something I could do and keep moving. And the first couple games were sort of free because some of them were based on other copyrighted IP. What's the term? IPs. But this is all created for my story. It's all drawn. This was all drawn by me. And then my friend David Graves jumped on board and started helping me with some of the characters and the music for the next game. So, and also I found that I found a couple great beta testers. One of them is all the way in, I think, in Sweden, and he did a great job just going through and testing everything out, finding all the bugs, giving me screenshots and details, and just made the whole process. So before I knew it, I had a team to actually work on the next thing. So, of course, after high school, where do you want to go but to college? And anyone who's familiar with Columbus will probably recognize. So these are all based on stories of my experiences. Like, for example, School Quest was, how do you survive in the 1980s when you're, just a closeted gay person, and how do you go about your day without getting your face beaten by the bullies? And you have to avoid various bullies as you go through the school, otherwise you have to start over. This was more of when I came to college, coming out, and the gay tones are not exactly the major theme of it. It's just more my story of just my experiences. But there's an adventure in here of, there was a girl there who thought I was really, really hot, and I had explained to her, and she came from, well, she was deaf, so, and she came from a small town, and she had no idea what a gay person was. So I had to explain that to her, and this just, unfortunately went over Jill's head. But once I explained it to her, I also said, "Hey, Greg wants to date you," and she ended up dating one of my friends instead. So, yeah, give me 1 second. So I'll jump through all the. Got it. So this is one of the colleges you may have seen if you've been part of COGG. And once again, it's all based on games that were what I knew back in the 1980s. 16 color graphics. Now, this is a little more powerful than what was on the Apple IIe, but it's along the lines of actually just creating the feel and the theme that you probably, if you were born or around during that period. So what I'll do is actually I'll turn the music off here. Although David Graves did do the music. He did a great job on the music. So thanks again, David Graves, for doing the music. And if you're not drunk by now, I would be surprised. So it's very, very much similar to, it's not a typing game, but it's a point and click. You have your controls here up at the top. And basically you can also choose to walk around by clicking on things with the foot. You can also right click to cycle through the commands. Another thing is too, is we actually made authentic manuals and a hint book that Syria used to have back in the day. You can download those when you buy the game. So one thing I discovered with School Quest is people would get stuck on something that I thought was very easy to understand, but they would get stuck and they would email me. So I went, well, you know what? Let's do what Siri did, because they said, hey, let's make more money with hint books. For example, the Leisure Suit Larry hint book sold more hint books than the game, which meant the game was actually probably pirated more than it was actually purchased. So, if you walk in, and I'm just going to do a quick run through here. So, and I'm going to talk to Josh here at the counter. And the important part here is that when you talk to him, he will give you the pager that alerts you to when certain things occur during the game. For example, you call your parents and ask your parents to send you grandpa's camera because you have to do a photo project. So now I got the pager. And as certain things occur during the game, because there is some time delayed stuff, you will be notified. They'll occur anyway, but the pager just gives you a little bit more notification, so you don't have to keep coming back and looking at something. In order to get art supplies, you have to donate blood, which a lot of kids did back in the day. But you don't want to donate too much blood, because then you'll die. You also have to keep your energy up, so occasionally you have to go to the cafeteria and eat the horrible food that they had there. A funny story is I went on the initial tour, and the lady on the tour said, "Oh, I eat in the cafeteria all the time." I never saw her once there. Well, yeah, I would say yes. I don't want to say anything disparaging about the... It's gotten a lot better now. The biggest problem was that the cafeteria closed at 6. And so if you didn't get down to get your dinner, you were stuck eating what you had, which was pretty much ramen noodles that you had in your cupboards. So, yep. Or chips or something like that. A couple improvements we made from School Quest. There's a map telling you the direction. One of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to use specific shots, and the problem is with that, sometimes the viewpoint changes. If you went to the local college, you know where you are, but for someone who never walked around Columbus, it was getting kind of confusing. So we added a map, and we also have an indicator showing you which direction the screen is facing. There's also a report card. These are the various projects you all have to get A's on in order to basically complete the game. And I'm going to go down to the library. And the first thing you have to do is you have to go through and you want to read all the books. So there's different sections of books here. And as you go through and interact, you basically become smarter. You'll get points. And then certain areas, in order to get the A in that project, you need to either make sure you read up on it or practice or have specific components. Like, for example, we had to put everything on acetate mounted and then acetate it, which is a clear plastic for those of you who don't know. So you have to have those school supplies, otherwise you can't turn stuff in. Here's a coupon that you can find for the zip drive that you need to order, because zip drives were a thing back then. So this is all based on stuff back in the 90s. There's a lot of jokes and puns based on stuff from the 90s. And we'll go into the dorm room here real quick. This one has a lot less deaths than School Quest, but there are ways that you can die. So with any game, I would say make sure you save and save often. This was the my roommate from Korea, Jin. So he basically will sell you a zip disk for $75, best price. And then there's like stuff like this film that you want to pick up. Once you pick up the film, then you can use the phone to call mom and dad, and they'll send you the camera. Once again, the camera doesn't arrive till about 20 minutes later. There's also stuff that is...
20 real-time minutes?
Yep.
Okay.
And there's actually stuff that is tied to the clock on your computer. Like, there is a guard in the computer lab who only goes away after 6 p.m. based on the clock on your computer. So there's a lot of interesting puzzles that we put into this one. And basically, if you go through, you collect everything you need, you get all your art supplies, you put them all together in the right order, then you'll get an A. If you don't get A's, you get B's or C's, and depending on what you get, there's 3 different endings. You either end up in the alley, basically drinking out of a bag, you get working at McDonald's, or you graduate with honors. So.
And you still working at the McDonald's.
Well, the rule is if you get straight A's, you get a fabulous art career. And I was lucky enough in real life to get a web design career. That's all going to be the next game, which is really going to be my Leisure Suit Larry game. Because these we aimed it to be PG-13, but the next one is going to be sort of like Leisure Suit Larry, and also in the fact, like the original Leisure Suit Larry, you had to answer a bunch of adult questions to start the game. We're going to have adult questions that you have to answer, like when you take out a loan, what's that called? In order to play the next game. So that's the gist of it. They're available out on Steam now. Once again, when you purchase them on Steam, you get the manual. I've actually had people wanting physical copies, and I was trying to figure out if that was logistically possible. And I'm like, okay.
I was going to say, Sir Randall does physical box and manual.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a box from, it's another point-and-click adventure game, the Day of the Tentacle.
Okay.
Randall, yeah. So I talked to him. He's in the, I forget.
The Discord?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's on Discord. He posts his stuff all the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
He just
like
did the,
work in progress.
did he do the clock with cable? Was that his?
I think so. But yeah, he's got a printer, and he's got like boxes and whatnot,
Okay.
and he's tried.
I'm curious, like,
Didn't he just announce he got a partnership with Ken Roberts?
Yeah.
On their new game? Did
Yeah.
you say that already?
No.
Okay, yeah. He just announced that.
Yeah.
So the physical,
The physical
the collector,
box?
like physical boxes for Ken Roberts?
Ken Williams.
Ken Williams.
Ken,
yeah.
with Ken and Roberta Williams.
Yeah.
They got the original King's Quest.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So show of hands, who would buy a physical copy? Okay.
Clearly.
If you got a physical copy, what do you want? USB? Do you want a 3.5 floppy?
Oh,
Hold that on.
Okay, what do you want? A CD? Anyone else? That's a good question. I don't even know how we have to check that. Like 20 floppies? Maybe? Five and a quarter would be 30.
The old Mist discs.
Yeah. USB.
So, I get that you're mimicking Leisure Suit Larry, other point adventure games like Hobby Monkey Island. Why did you decide to keep the fact that you have to switch tools, where like your mouse could be context aware, like you could just automatically click here and you move there, click on the door and it just opens door, go move to door and open door, like.
Well, it's like, for example, some things like one, it's because that's the way AGS sets it up as the default.
Okay.
Two, some games require you to look and then interact. I didn't want to be, there's actually a lot of jokes in here of saying, if this was Gold Rush, you walk in the grass, we would have fined you money, but we're not being dicks. So there's a lot of like, we're not trying to be dicks. We're trying to be like in a serious game, but not dickish. So you don't have to look at something to interact with it. And there's a couple of things that we did to just, because there's a lot, if you ever go back on the old Sierra games, like trying to figure out Rumpelstiltskin's name, you have to literally not only go backwards, but you have to do A to Z, B to Y in order to spell his name. I mean, Syria had basically a scam where they wanted you either to call their 900 line or buy the hint book. That's how they made money more than the game, because they made the games purposely hard, so you would actually have to spend money to figure out how to actually beat the game. So in this, we just made it, I just wanted to make it fun. So there's like I'll show you the one, the one way you could die. If you walk off campus, you get run over by a car. School Quest, the major complaint we had with School Quest was there's random water buckets that were in the hallway you have to avoid, otherwise you spill and you break your neck. And this was true back in my high school, Richest County in Ohio, mind you. Whenever it rained, you would have water buckets everywhere. It was like a video game until the levee passed and they finally fixed the roof. But that was like one complaint. So there's no water buckets. But in this game, if you walk off campus, you'll get run over.
Is that your invisible wall?
Yeah. Because this was the thing too. Is like once I started drawing this, I'm like, holy crap, there's going to be a lot of screens.
Yeah.
Like School Quest was 50 screens. This was 123.
Oh my god.
And sometimes, and in hindsight, I drew every stairwell, and I should. In the next game, I'll just now I know how to code it to just repeat it. Let's see. Do you want to restart? Yes. I forget where I was going with that train of thought, but it was
Stairwells.
Yeah, I ended up realizing how big campus was, and I had to start trimming things
because it's like, well, you don't really need to walk over next door to the church. You really don't need to walk off campus. You don't need to see the state college, but yeah, each of these I did an individual screen, which in hindsight I should have just done one screen with a parameter to identify, but I know how to do that now for the next game. But yeah, there's like 128 screens for this game. It's three times the size of School Quest, and 3 times the puzzles. Because like I said, you have to There's two parts. There's 4 initial grades that you get, and once you do that, you unlock Chapter 2. Chapter 2 has exciting adventures of we would buy Papa John's pizza, and my roommates would love to take that little hot pepper and stick it in my bed or whatnot, or so all sorts of pranks that they would like to do, or just spill my piece of pizza with the hot sauce or something. There's the psycho guy that was on campus that everybody avoided because you never know when he was going to go off. And, in hindsight, modern day, he was probably the guy that was going to, shoot up campus or whatnot. But you have to avoid Psycho John. Another tip here too is I want people to interact with everything possible. If you click on some of these planners here, you'll find some secret money. So it sort of helps if you're trying not to wait for your blood to regenerate. So this is the cafeteria with its various options. And then all these conversations that you talk with people, like this is Davey here. He actually sat down and had dinner with me, and he said he actually had vampire fangs that came in and out. And for about 2 hours, I actually believed him until somebody told me, no, he's just pulling your leg, Anthony. I'm like, that's what I thought, but he was really, really serious about it. So these are all actual conversations. Like I said, Jill thought she had the hots for me, and I didn't. It's like, you got to go explain to her because she thinks you're dating. I'm like, oh, God. So, any questions?
I had a question on
What is your process like you said you had someone helping you follow the insurance, right?
Yeah.
Going back and forth, getting feedback and
Yeah. Aki and Craig, Aki's in I want to say it's not Switzerland.
It's the Netherlands. He ended up being my main developer, and Craig also helped. And I would give him builds, and he would actually take screenshots, or he would say, logically, this doesn't make sense. He would actually find ways to get more points that you're supposed to get. That's how good he is. Yeah, he's played these games before. David Graves, who's my cohort, he actually drew all the characters except for a couple. He actually did the music too. He actually does his own synthwave music and chip tunes. Because another complaint we had about School Quest is that it was too quiet. And I'm thinking, well, Apple IIe, you didn't have music when you played King's Quest, but yeah, I get it. So there's been a little bit of modernizing of these games for the modern audience. So he made some tunes. They will change as you enter the different buildings, and we actually released that as a soundtrack that you can download off of Bandcamp as well. So there's the incident in Chapter 2 where somebody took feces and put them all over the RA's door, and the RA was really pissed off and brought the whole cafeteria in and sort of chased out the whole school and saying, we'll get this person. That's in here. So based on real life stories, folks. So I'm sorry?
Reality is stranger than fiction.
Yes. I have very interesting stories throughout my life, so it's like, well, how can I give that to the world? And video games. People actually pay me money for this. Go figure. So, good.
Do you keep other records of your life, like journals or anything? Because it's also vivid. Is it just top of your head?
Not necessarily journals, but I mean photos and like in order to, this is that, I want to say the name, but this local college back in 1994. Now it's changed a lot since then. They've built things, they've changed things. So not only did I have to go off of memory, but old photos to try and figure out, okay, because the cafeteria's moved, it's no longer down here.
And I did modify a little bit of things because there was just a lot of parking lots. So I moved a couple buildings around to make it interesting. But I went off, I actually contacted the local alumni, and they gave me a link to a photo archive where they had all the photos of stuff from all the way back to like 1932 when the college started. So I was looking for something close to what that particular building looked like back then, just to get some sort of idea, because I could sort of remember it, but it's changed so much that I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to go off of memory or this photo. So this is what it mostly looked like back in 1994 with some slight adjustment to make, I moved the overflow dorms to a spot next to another building because it was just a parking lot. So
I think there's something to be said about that,
like capturing this moment in time. It reminds me when Notre Dame had caught on fire, right? And they used some of the mock-ups in Assassin's Creed to kind of help.
Oh my God!
That because they had gone there a couple of years prior to capture what it looked like to make it as realistic as possible.
Oh wow!
But a lot of times you think of like games are needing to be archived because they're getting so old you can't use them on the original hardware.
Right.
But the reverse is also true, right? Like where if it's capturing a moment in time, it might be a way to kind of find a neat interactive way to explore
So
them.
you remember the crack houses that they had for teachers' offices, right?
No, I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so back in the day, the
teachers' offices were literally these dilapidated buildings that they had right next to this building. This was Design Hall, and this was before they built the new dorms. By the way, the president of the old college did not want any color on the walls. He wanted them all gray because he wanted your artwork to stand out. So everything that he built was gray. It was really boring. But the school owned these crack houses that they put the teachers in, and literally walking up the stairs, I'm like, am I going to fall through these stairs? They finally tore them down years later. And the only reference I found of these was when they were putting that giant art sculpture up. I finally found it, but it was like way in the distance. That was the only reference I could find of those. So, but yeah, that was fun times, mind you. So this is all changed now. This is where the new dorms are at. So, there's stuff like I recently found out that this particular building is no longer being used upstairs because they think it's haunted. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyhow, so, so this is the overflow dorms. This building is not actually there, but I moved it there just because I wanted to make it interesting.
Next to the library?
This is the one that was next to the church on the corner of Broad and Washington.
Yeah.
So,
My wife was there. This is the one next to the library.
it's where they send all the disturbed kids that couldn't because you got your own room, no air conditioning, but you got your own room. So the ones that couldn't mix in a 4-bedroom or a 4-person room, they got sent to this one. So,
Quite a few.
any other questions? I don't want to monopolize the time here. Cool.
Thank you for your time. Once again, this is available on Steam, prettybirdgames.com. Once again, thanks to David Graves, who's out with his back hurting right now. So hope he gets better. Thank you, David Graves.
What's your next steps on this project or any other project?
The next one is going to be basically Adult Quest and then Midlife Crisis Quest. And then I just turned 50 quest. It's all basically stories. So the next one is going to be try to get Anthony laid, but you have to also keep a job. You also have to get out and because I was driving actually, my first major job was driving all the way up to Mansfield every day, which was ridiculous. Going from downtown Columbus to Mansfield, I don't know how I did it. But that's going to be the true Leisure Suit Larry game, and then it's going to be just series and chapters of my life. And then by the time I get to the 5th game, I'll probably be 60. So then I'll have whatever is happening at that point. So.
How to get Medicaid and AARP.
What about Game Maker's Quest, where you're trying to make these games?
Yes.
That's actually Leisure Suit Larry 3 ends that way, where he's making the game of Leisure Suit Larry 1.
Oh.
So believe me, there's a lot of inside jokes, especially for people who.
These are all my friends in the game, and that's all their stories as well. Like for example, my one friend that I've known forever is in the process of transitioning, and I was talking to her, and trying to explain like, okay, this is what I'm planning on doing. And she was a little bit nervous. I'm like, well, you have a story to tell too. I mean, it's, it's only fair that I tell your story as accurately and comedically as possible. So these are all based on stories that there was Karen. She was a friend of ours who passed away, but she always would put on talent shows with puppets. So I gave her a little bit of spot. At the end of the game, if you get all straight A's, everybody walks across the stage and then tells where they are, because most of my friends actually became very successful. Some of them worked at Henson. Some worked at, what's that toy? McFarlane Toys. A lot of them went on to do some really amazing things. So I go through and say, so-and-so went to work at McFarlane Toys, so-and-so worked at Henson Associates. So more incentive to get the full straight A's on your report card. So anything else? All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much.
And thank you, David Graves. David Graves.
Awesome. Cool. So that was College Quest and more. Yeah, keep us posted if you have more updates. I'm going to go ahead and quit this. Get back to our schedule. So yeah, so I think that unless there's anything else, I think we're at a good probably stopping point at this point. So we went ahead today and kind of gave some of our announcements of events coming up next month. We'll try to get this event again. Again, we're going to try to keep this in-person event for our GameDev meetup as best we can. We will look at parking in the future best we can. We can't control that, but we'll try. Thanks for showing up. I know there's a lot of you who have taken the time out of your day to kind of come out and hang out with us. I hope you enjoyed your time. Thanks for everyone on the live stream. Are there any other notes that you saw from there that you can think of, Caleb?
There was a couple of people who were online who updated their games.
Okay. Yeah.
We went through all of them.
Nice. Okay. Good. Okay. Well, that being said, thanks for coming out on a Sunday, and we'll be hanging out here for a little bit. So we'll be here till 5, and then join us on Discord if you want to, hear anything else. But otherwise, thanks for coming out. And next event again will be online prototype and play on the 14th. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we'll be in Discord. So get your games ready if you want to show them. We'll have a lot of time, good times there. And then the month after, we'll be at Game Arena doing prototype and play in person. And then this one, hopefully again in person next month as well. So thanks everybody for coming out. We'll catch you next time, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks everyone. Wait for that.
Wes, how long does it take this?
Yeah.